Hello and welcome back to Raising the Paws. In this series, I have been sharing tips to just help grow your marriage even stronger. This channel is all about faith and family and marriage and motherhood and really all things home related. If you are new, please consider subscribing and sticking around. This may not be for everyone, and I'm not here to meet the needs of everyone. I'm just here to maybe share in hopes of encouraging you in your walk with the Lord and in motherhood and in marriage. Today we are on day 6 of this 7 video series. Stick around if this sounds like something you're interested in. If you haven't already gone back and watched videos 1 through 5, I highly recommend doing that. You can kind of see an insight into what I feel about marriage, what I have studied in the Bible about marriage, and what has helped me grow in marriage and be a better spouse. In all things in my life, I feel like I always try to be better. I know that it doesn't all depend on me. I know that relationships work with both people, and it takes two. And so I know in my life personally, I always want to do better. I want to grow. That's just who I am. I'm not wanting to just be good enough or just let it be. I want to try to grow and be better every day. I also want to add that I'm just doing this series as a way to just help anybody that may be struggling, maybe having a hard time. It's not to say that my marriage or relationship with my husband is better than anyone else or that I know it all and I really don't. I don't gain anything from YouTube. I do not. I am a very small channel. I do it as a hobby, really just because I want to help share and reach people outside of my 4 walls. At the end of the day, my priority is my family and taking care of my kids, and that's a full-time job as I have 3 older kids in school and 3 younger kids still at home. I'm not here to try to act like somebody that I'm not. I really just want to help and share, and these tips that I share with you are the same things that I would give anybody that I spoke to regarding the matter of marriage, because I love marriage. I promote marriage. I'm all for reconciliation and restoration in marriage. But I think the Lord can do all things. And so my first tip is to go to Him in all things. You may be walking through some really hard times and some really dark times in marriage. You may be dealing with things that you didn't want to have to deal with, but the Lord can help you and sustain you and give you the wisdom and strength to know what to do in your situation. I'm just talking about the things that we've had to face, just selfishness and jealousy and ways that I just was overlooking my spouse. I remember a time when I was really praying, Lord, what do you want for me? What's the direction for me? Because had I leaned on my own understanding, I would have messed it all up. And I probably wouldn't be where I am today with 6 beautiful children from my husband, or with the love that I share with my husband now. And I am so grateful for the Lord's goodness and mercy, because had I not leaned on Him and had I leaned on my own understanding, I probably wouldn't have what I have today because of that. So God is good and gracious, and I am forever thankful for that. Anyways, like I said, I don't gain anything from YouTube, so I really can't nail down exactly what direction I'm going to go with the channel. I just really want to help and share in my own walk, and if it's something that I'm dealing with in marriage or motherhood or home life, then I want to just bring you along with that. I am a faith-based channel because I am a woman of God, and I will automatically go back to scripture when and where necessary. So if that's something you're not interested here, that's okay. You take what you want and leave what you don't. That's okay. I believe in planting seeds, and the Lord will water them and allow them to grow when it's His timing. I want you to understand too, relationship trouble is not an overnight fix most of the time. And so Rome wasn't built in a day, and it's going to take time. If your relationship is really messy, expect it to take time, because it wasn't all broken and crumbled in one day. It may not all be fixed and repaired in one day. Let's dive right in, because today is day 6. So today is being a keeper at home. How can being a keeper at home grow your marriage? I know that the Bible is very clear on what it says in Titus 2. I've shared this on the channel before when I have read Titus 2 and being a biblical woman. Titus 2 talks about the women and what they must do as the aged women. One of the traits of a Titus 2 woman is being a keeper at home. I'm not saying your home needs to look like something off of Pinterest or Better Homes and Garden magazine. I'm saying just taking care of what needs to be taken care of. You may work outside the home and the duties may need to be split amongst the whole household. You just have to work out what works for you. But I do believe where it says in Titus 2 about taking care of the home, and I want to do that well. So I found when I became slothful, I don't like to say slothful, but when I became overwhelmed in life and motherhood and with my marriage, my home took a hit. And with having a big family, it can be hit very quickly. So this is why I go back to minimalism. I love all things minimalism, not because I want to put myself in a box, but because I want to be able to dedicate time to the things that really matter to me. I want to pare down the things and the inventory that I have in the home just so that I can spend less time putting these things away and managing the inventory, and less time even cleaning all the inventory, and spending more time with the things that matter most. Listen, you're not going to look back at the end of your life and say, I should have cleaned those cobwebs more. I should have rearranged my basement. No, you're going to wish that you spent more time and quality time with your children and with your spouse, and you're going to remember all the times that you did and how much fun you had together. That's my spill on the minimalism. I'm not trying to get rid of everything, although I feel like sometimes that would be easier. I'm just talking about having a set amount of inventory that is easy for me to manage. I'm a busy woman. I'm busy with all of my children. So when my children's things are pared back to just the amount that we can manage effectively, then I can be a better keeper at home, which in turn makes my relationships better as well. How often do you feel like your job at home is never done? How often do you let things pile up just because it's always going to be there? How often do you let the state of your house affect your moods and the way you treat the people you love dearly? Listen, I'm only saying this because I've been there, and I'm not here to try to step on any toes. Absolutely not. I had someone in the comments say that I stepped on their toes. I am truly sorry for that. I'm not here to do that. I'm saying I've been there and I've done it, and I'm still there. I'm still doing it. This is me talking to myself as well, because there's many times I'm not the best manager of my home. I'm not the best keeper of my home. There's times where I'm just physically worn out by the end of the day, and I look around and I think, what have I done? I love seeing how people can put their house to bed, they can put their kitchen to bed, reset their kitchen at bedtime, and wake up to a clean and fresh space. Well, that hasn't always been my reality. There's been a lot of times in my life that I have been able to do that, but it isn't all the time reality. I'm not perfect. We have been doing Bible stories with our children every night, and it is just one of those times where they go to school now, we get to connect. You know, before, when I was a homeschool mom, we were able to do our Bible stories or reading any time of the day. And now that my children, older 3 children, are in school, we are now having to be very wise with the time that we do have. And our Bible story time has been in the evening as kind of a closing out of the day, and we do it together as a family. My husband has been very gracious and helpful to do the dishes after dinner. And he and my older daughter were doing the dishes, and I overheard him say, "What a blessing it is for you to be in here helping me." I was listening from afar, and he said, "What a blessing that you are to be resetting the kitchen for Mama, because in the morning she's going to get a wake up to a clean kitchen." And I thought, how beautiful of a moment. I'm so thankful for that. When you work together as a family, life is going to be messy, and that's okay. We all just work together and clean it up. I feel like being a keeper at home has been a way that I've really struggled. When I was first married, keeping the home didn't seem like that big of a task. I've never really been much of a decorator or like interior design. It's just not really my thing. I've always kept the home because my mother set a very high standard. And when I added my second child, I could still manage the home. I could manage the children. I managed a job outside of the home. It wasn't until moving into really tiny places with a larger family. By the time I had my third child, we were living in a small place as a big family. It became harder for me to manage and keep the home. So there's been different things that I've had to learn and grow in over time to be a better keeper at home. Now, I'm not going to give out a ton of advice, but just because I'm not the best. My baseboards are not always cleaned. My floors are not always cleaned. I'm still always tidying things up. I am still always decluttering. I am still always going through the inventory, trying to stop it from coming in, and I'm still trying to catch up on laundry. But being a keeper at home and starting to learn to be more intentional with being a keeper at home really helped my marriage, because then my husband could come in and he saw the smile on my face, the happy attitude, and I put together a home. It called for a lot of relief on his end. We aren't always going to be here in this house. Lord willing, we'll be in our new house and there'll be new systems and new things to manage there. That home feeling is just us together, and that's what I'm trying to attain. And while I'm grateful for this place to dwell, I want to be a good steward of it, but I know that at the end of the day, time with my family and the way that we treat one another is going to matter far more. But I wanted to list being a keeper at home just because I know that when I am a little more intentional in the home, my husband does appreciate it. So I wanted to list being a keeper at home as a way to add to your marriage, because when they come in, they're going to appreciate the fact that you've went out of the way to create a home and a place for them to be able to rest and know that I am home. And it feels good. I'm hoping that I don't offend anybody, because believe you me, I'm not the best keeper at home, so don't think that I'm like coming after you. I'm not. I'm coming after myself because I need to be better in this area. This is one tip I'm going to work harder on this week. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you're enjoying all of these tips. I'm just sharing what has helped me in hopes that it will help you. Like I always say, please pray over your marriage so that you can grow stronger, and do what you can to bless each other and to bless others. I promise you'll feel good about yourself when you are thinking of others. Turning our focus from inward and how I feel and how others make me feel to an outward of what can I do for someone else. Jesus didn't have to think of himself. He was constantly thinking of others. And I'm so thankful that he thought of me. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. I hope that this was a blessing to you. Please like, subscribe, and share it if it's something that you're interested in. And like I said before, if it's not something you're interested in, that's okay too. I'm thankful that you were here anyways. Don't forget to come back for day number 7 on our marriage series of growing your marriage even stronger. See you next time.